information. And it's great to see us at this point. I can remember doing this 15 years ago, where this thing called the internet was a big mystery still, and nobody knew what to do with it, and people were just starting to grapple with marketing data and what could they do with that. And it's great that you know, as many of you guys who are fellow travelers in this thing are on the phone, and that we can all have a conversation about how to make marketing more accountable and more measurable and more visible. And that's what we share at Data Mentors, along with Conversa and along with all of you, I know. So just full disclosure on our webinar here, you know, of course, all of us speak with our own experiences at the top of our minds. So a little bit of this will feel like I'm just talking about us, which is what I know best, of course. So what we're hopeful that we can do today is share our own experiences in the context in which we operate. So it may seem a little bit like a commercial for Data Mentors. It's not intended to be that way. We're testing and we're learning and we're discovering just as much as you guys are, and particularly in the world of mobile data, which is sort of a big greenfield opportunity. Just wanted to share with you some of the things that we're learning and that we're doing, and hopefully it'll be useful for everybody. So a little bit about us. We are a data as a service company. What that means is we couple data and technology to make data and intelligence fluidly available around every part of the enterprise that our clients need it to be. We are, as you might have seen in the last page, sort of the product of a merger between a technology company of long standing, that's the Data Mentors name. We've been on the Gartner Magic Quadrant for the last 10 years for data integration and data quality. Basically what that means is our technologies, and this is more relevant today than ever, wrangle complex, fast-moving, voluminous data and make sense of it. And with, you know, all of the use cases that all of us run into these days, with data moving fast and customers and prospects moving fast and making decisions on the fly, having this technology background, having this backbone, and making sure that data gets delivered where it needs to be is really critical, more critical than ever today. That said, all of that doesn't really help you unless there is really good third-party data you know, running throughout your enterprise and available fluidly and pervasively and in real time for you to make decisions and money with. You know who your existing first-party customers are. Our data products help us identify more people like them, you know, the real profitable ones. So I think the data solutions that we merged with in the form of a company called RElevate about a year ago has really proven to be a boon to our business. So coupling data and technology to create this data as a service outcome, this ability for the entire enterprise to plug into productive data and to make money with it easily, is really what our mission is as a company. So a little bit more about us. We go way back, and I think the reason that this is important, I'll talk conceptually in a second about the world that we live in, which is the intersection of foundational data, name and address-based data, the data that any of you who are data purchasers or who use direct mail in any of your programs or all of that are very familiar with. Data, foundational data is structured. It is, you know, very, very available. You know what it costs. You know how to use it. Yet we live in this world of combining foundational and fast data. But really, you can only be good at that if you've got a background in the traditional arts of how to source data, how to structure it, and how to turn it into productivity for you. So our roots going back to the 70s, which in some cases might not be an advantage, really is an advantage, because we've learned in the creation of data products and the creation of marketing technologies how to use data, how to pull in and ingest new sources of data, how to create new outcomes. And you're really a much more effective modern data company if you've got those roots. So we're really happy to have been in business since the 70s. A little bit more about this duality of technology and data you can see at the bottom. So our DataFuse platform, this data integration and data quality engine that's been Gartner ranked for the last 10 years, as I said, served us well. It's sort of the engine room, if you will, where we can ingest very complex, very fast-moving data, make sense of it, and get it to where it needs to be. The other thing that DataFuse really contributes to is our huge volume of real-time services, calls, and library, because customers and increasingly our clients, of course, in reaction to that, are operating in real time. And you know, we find more and more uses for this technology every day, both to structure data that's unstructured, but really to deliver it linked in real time to our clients' marketing systems, to partners, to, you know, wherever it needs to be. And I think you can't really do that without a really strong technology backbone. So the history of our company serves us well in this case. On the right is an example of one of our data solutions that we deliver to a particular vertical market. We started our lives as a generalist data company, if you will. The company that's been in business since the 70s, it was a company called Telematch, and the Conversa guys will relate to this. It started off as one of these companies that compiled phone numbers by manually entering them out of the white pages. That's how far back all of this stuff goes. And look at where we are today. You know, that's 35 years or maybe a little bit more than that. It's quite amazing to see where we've evolved to. So we've got a bunch of foundational data solutions, from phone to email to new mover to consumer and business data. But we also, as a company, try to attack vertical markets that are ripe for innovation. And the automotive market, if any of you operate within the automotive market, you'll understand instinctively what I'm saying. There's an awful lot of marketing investment in the auto market. There's an awful lot of data flying around in the automotive market. Yet, marketing has evolved a little bit, but it has not evolved to meet the needs of the increasingly mobile, demanding, and fast-moving consumer. So about 5 years ago, we set out to create a better solution to data in the automotive market. We trained our sights on an old line, very terrific established company called RElevate. They do a absolutely terrific job, but marketing had kind of passed them by. Polk is very restrictive because it's sourced from state data. Polk is blind because of state data access restrictions in about 20% of the US, and we created this data solution from the commercial data ecosystem. And all of this is kind of leading up to this product that I'll tell you about at the very end. But if you think about it, the advent of the internet and the advent of data as we know it has really only happened in the last 20 years or so. You see all of these statistics about how many petabytes and exabytes and, you know, whatever bytes of data are being created every day, and all of that has only happened in recent years, courtesy of just the pervasive nature of data as enabled by technology and the internet. But if you think about it, data is now created as an outcome of another activity, and that's really what's created the revolution in data today. So our auto solution has not been created from state sources that our competitor RElevate has been created from. Our data solution, RElevate Auto, has been created from the commercial data ecosystem. Here's an example of the kinds of things that are possible in this new ecosystem today. You go into a Valvoline store or some oil change store and you get the VIN on the side of your door scanned. That's an example of how data is being created every day that isn't necessarily adequately monetized. And it's folks like us who have built a network, who have insight about what marketers want, who are really able to say, you know what, there's an opportunity out there to take on an old line, established player, and to create a different, better, faster, less restrictive solution. And that's what we've done in the automotive market with RElevate Auto. So it's the better marketer's alternative to this established entity. And that's just one example of how we attack opportunity with our data products and attack markets that are ripe for innovation. And I think, you know, based on the subject today of mobile, This too, believe it or not, although mobile seems like it's painfully innovative every day, is just starting to realize its potential, and we believe that we've learned some things that hopefully will be helpful, and we think we're onto something that might translate both into the automotive market first, but also to markets in general as we move along here. So I talked a little bit on the previous slide about this duality of foundational and fast data, and this is the world that we all live in. Foundational data to us is the data that we know. It's name and address based or location based. It's well known. You know how much it costs. It's pervasively available. It's structured. You can go buy it from anybody. This data is really important. This is the roots of our company, and I know many of you on the phone kind of deal with the traditional and the digital modes of marketing, and you can't really do one without the other, of course, if you're a good cross-channel marketer. And if you're a good, well-rounded marketer, you work with both kinds of data. However, foundational data is not all there is. As you know, the internet, as I just talked about, has created this new world of new kinds of data being created every day. And most importantly, in the realm of quote-unquote fast data, both digital and now mobile channels are giving us huge insight into who's doing what when. So wouldn't it be great, and I'm sure you guys ask yourselves this every day, wouldn't it be great if you knew who you wanted to go talk to in the traditional way, if you could carve out a segment of data and you were going to go create a campaign against that audience, wouldn't it be great to combine that with quote-unquote fast data that gave you insight into exactly what those customers or prospects were doing in the moment or about to do? Man, that would give us all a huge inside track and create, exponential ROI in the campaigns that we push out there. The truth is, right now, foundational and fast data exist in slightly overlapping orbits, but not really overlapping. Those of you who operate across channels will recognize this instinctively. If you're going to go do a campaign with foundational data, you're going to go buy a list. You know what to do, or you're going to pull a list out of your marketing automation system. Simple, well-known, easy to do. Fast data is annoyingly unstructured. It is often today still device-based or IP address-based or worse. Any of you who go out and buy digital data in a DMP or any similar platform will know that you're sort of consigned to this horrible fate of having to go buy an audience, not go buy a real person. You've got incredible precision in the world of foundational data. I know exactly who I'm going to go talk to. And then when you get into targeting a mobile campaign or targeting a digital campaign, or heaven forbid trying to combine the two, it all falls apart. You're really not able to get a lot of precision around, all right, I see people performing shopping behavior. I see them about to do something, but I can't associate that data back to this mailing list that I've got. What do I do? Well, this is the holy grail that we're all chasing, and I wish I could say we have the magic answer to this. We don't, but through partnerships like we've got with Conversa, through discussions with our clients, through all the things that we learn every day, these worlds are really starting to come together, and we're learning in our own little way how you can wrangle this dynamic to your advantage. So this is the duality that we live in, and our mission as a data company is to bring these worlds together so that marketers can truly have universal addressability, the ability to understand who you're going to talk to online and talk to the same person offline and vice versa. And that's the holy grail that we're all chasing. So if you look at our website, we've kind of taken this to a new level, just in terms of our mission as a company. We've badged Data Mentors the right time marketing company, or the company that will really help marketers market in right time. And to us, real and right time sort of run together, but real time, I think what we're learning is marketers are increasingly frustrated with this universal concept of real time. Okay, does fast matter? Yeah, oftentimes fast does matter, but it needs to happen in context. So we've kind of branded our pursuit of this whole thing right time marketing, getting the right communication to that right person through the right channel in the right time frame that they need to adjust and to make the decision in your favor and into our clients' favor. I'd encourage all of you to go to a new marketing community that we just launched, which is www.righttimemarketer.com. And once more, that's righttimemarketer.com. And we launched this community about a week ago to really help drive the conversation around right time marketing. And you'll see it's sponsored by us. We try to keep the commercial content about data mentors to a minimum. We feel like this site's role is to help advance a discussion, and we'd invite any of you to go check it out, read the content. If you want to submit content, you're more than welcome, because really this is not about us. It's about us sort of helping to drive a conversation that really has a lot of parts to it. So we're trying to walk the walk in terms of what our company's all about. So to us, right time marketing is this combination of data and technology combined to deliver these fluid insights and experiences that the mobile and digital enabled customer really not just wants in the abstract, they demand it. If you don't give it to them, they're going to vote with their feet and they're going to go somewhere else. So you need to, in that context, really create the connection of fast and foundational data. Understand who you're going to talk to, but also really understand what they're doing in the moment so that you can create that experience for them. Again, easier said than done. That's how we combine our data and our technology to serve that need. A lot of you who use data are familiar with the annoying batch process mode of working, and honestly, there's still a lot of that goes on. You need a file, you zip it up, you send it to somebody, they use it, they put it into a platform, it takes a couple of days. Great, that happens. We've invested enormously in our real-time services, as I said, simply because our clients are saying not good enough anymore. It's, A, we want as much automation in our marketing process as we can. B, we need speed. We're losing money every time we don't deliver that experience in real time. And how we use data, and of course, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail here, so forgive me, but we really view data as fuel to a perpetual process, not just an ingredient, not just a list you go by to send a direct mail campaign out there. Of course, that's a necessary evil or something that everybody does. But the way that we try to set up our products and our interactions and the services that we provide to our clients is really using data as a perpetually available asset, not an episodically available asset. Fuel versus ingredient is the way that we try and frame it up. So I'm sure when we show this slide, not everybody agrees with exactly every detail of how we're pursuing it, and we'd encourage any feedback. But I'm sure that many of you or all of you are having this discussion or thinking these thoughts or being asked by your bosses, what about this? And I think they're asking, and your clients are asking, or whomever is asking, because this is really what's going on in the marketplace these days. You lose money every day that you're not able to deliver these experiences and have a real-time interplay with your clients and your prospects. So let's talk about mobile, and our data products and services span the gamut of foundational to terrestrial web and now to mobile, because the mobile revolution is actually not even a revolution anymore. The revolution's over. It's happened. And I think it's now up to us as marketers to catch up and really recognize that behavior has now shifted for good. I'm going to show you some alarming stats in a second, which are good for all of us, but things that we really need to adapt to. So first of all, mobile has won the digital war, sort of end of report, both in terms of time used and in terms of dollars. Think about your own behaviors, how you guys operate just in your own personal lives. I think this will probably resonate. and you can see just the kind of this exponential increase in time spent as apps get better, as more of them become available, as form factors and capabilities and mobile devices shift. You can relate to this. There's just no question that in our own personal lives and then in the lives of the people that we're trying to market to, this has happened. 4.7 hours on a smartphone every day, just incredible. I don't know about you, I'm checking my phone every 5 minutes or less. It's a nervous tick at this point. It's just kind of the way it is. It's okay. CMOs are, and this was honestly a little surprising to me, CMOs are really starting to get the idea. The bigger companies that are investing at scale are really driving a much higher degree of spend than I would have thought. So you see, you know, these abstract figures about how mobile advertising spending is happening. If you go to the next page here, we'll show you, I think it's on the next page, yes it is, just about what's really happening here. So just to ground you, so in the middle of the graph is 2016. Look at how the spending by device has changed here. So in-app, mobile advertising versus the mobile web, game over there. And game completely over in terms of mobile devices versus the terrestrial web. I got to be honest, I was blown away by this statistic. I'm a student of advertising. It's not what I do every day, but this is incredible. And so when I say things like the mobile revolution is over, it's over. You know, and it's over because consumer behavior has dictated that it is. And I think it's now up to us to recognize that, you know, as we as marketers, and particularly for us as providers of data products and services, the terrestrial web is hugely important. It's part of a cross-channel customer experience, but mobile is kind of where it's at, and that's where we have developed or spent a lot of money, developed a lot of intellectual capital, and really committed to as a place where marketers really need our help, and that's the journey that we're on. So speaking of journeys, I think that you all are familiar, again, through your own experiences and through the industries that you're in about, you know, call it what you will, the concept of showrooming or the concept of you know, the real-time shopping behavior as buying through a physical channel is happening or as it's about to happen. So you can see the stats here, you know, 90% of smartphone users are making progress toward a long-term purchase. 82% of them are showrooming. 62% of them are likely to take action immediately, and you know, half are you know, connecting some out-of-store experience to an in-store experience, and they're buying. So you know, we can go find a bazillion statistics on this, and I think in the verticals that we operate in, with automotive in particular, I'll show you some stats in a minute that just sort of completely bring this dynamic home. But you know, now I will tell you, most of this is more advanced in B2B, in B2C, excuse me. But B2B marketers who may be on the phone as well are really starting to see this too. We work in a variety of B2B settings, and we're seeing the same thing. It's not happening quite as quickly and quite as forcefully, but it's definitely happening. So regardless of the vertical that you operate in, I really encourage everybody to take a good hard look at cross-channel experiences as enabled by data and what you're doing about it. So let's talk about the state of play here, because I think just to be honest, the expenditure, the use by consumers particularly and businesses, and the expenditure of marketing investment has kind of outstripped the sophistication of the data marketplace and marketers' ability to deliver this customer experience that mobile shoppers, which is basically everybody at this point, demand. This is where the opportunity is, you know, both for us as a company and I think for all of us who are marketers. So let's talk about, how marketers target. This is largely consumers, but those of you in B2B, this will resonate too. And this is what is so, this is where the opportunity is. So first of all, there's geo-targeting, right? And both location-based targeting and beaconing are kind of all contributors to the same dynamic. You enable location-based services. You're somewhere, whatever technology there is recognizes a device, and there you go. The real holy grail here is not to market to some device that might be in proximity of something, but it's to really connect that device to a person, and that's where the opportunity lies. Any of you who have tested mobile marketing or who are doing it at scale will kind of recognize that mobile marketing today is kind of like the terrestrial web has been. You're, again, consigned to go buy a mobile audience, or even worse, some kind of device that might happen to be in proximity to whatever you're doing. That's good, believe me. That's created an incredible business for a lot of people. We as data people don't think that's good enough. The same frustrations that are there with the web, really linking this behavior of down the funnel shopping behavior, people doing things at the time and then acting, or at least within the day before and then acting. That's really what all of us need to capitalize on. And the technologies and the use modes that are out there right now are good, but they're not good enough. And there's a lot more opportunity and a lot more ground to cover, because really you're left with the same sort of dynamic. You're left to go buy the direct mailing list that's really well honed, highly structured, and then you got to go buy a bunch of, mobile device ads that may or may not be against those people, and you're stuck in the same vicious cycle. We think there's a better way. So a little more granularity about this, just in terms of how we see it, and really the yield curve, if you were to look at the yield curve, is exactly the inverse of how this pyramid is structured. So right now, you've got audience targeting based on devices or apps or model lookalikes or whatever that is. So have we lost it?
Hello?
Hey, folks.
Yeah, we're still here.
All right, sorry. We just got a weird error message on our GoToMeeting. So if everybody's still here, I'll keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, on
right.
my end, we're good.
Okay.
I don't see anyone in the question.
Good. So anyway, the yield curve is kind of inverted here. So if you think about where most of the money's being spent, up at the top where audience targeting is, that's where the yield's going to be less. You're paying huge, you're paying for volume there, and the ROI on every dollar you spend is modest. Real-time location targeting, okay, not bad. In the moment, getting better. You'll make a little bit more money there by capitalizing on this dynamic of people who are, researching on their mobile device and either going into a store or are in a store at the time or whatever it is. Archive location data, maybe as coupled with something that's going on in real time. Well, all right, you've got a pattern there. Facts have accumulated. You're really kind of beginning to understand a level of behavior that is material to a purchase. Somebody does something multiple times, or going to a store multiple times without buying, whatever it is. All right, that's getting better. And at the bottom, all of this behavior is really still in the top three tiers of this upside down pyramid, is really still all about the device, all about kind of the de-identified object rather than a person. So again, our whole thesis about the mobile data market and what we can do, wouldn't it be great if you could connect all of this intelligence to a mobile device, to an actual person? So think about this again. You go create a segment for your marketing campaign, and heaven forbid, you could go target exactly those people on the terrestrial web, and you can target exactly those people on their mobile devices. this concept of universal addressability. It is coming, and we're learning in our own way how to connect the dots and how to make it happen. So, as I said at the beginning, we're deep into automotive. Many of you may not be automotive marketers. That's okay. I think all of us at one time or another have shopped for a car or participated in the process, so hopefully this use case will resonate to you. So think about all of the stuff that goes on in automotive that could be influenced by mobile. First and most valuable is the shopping for a car, shopping for a new car. Very, very important, where all the money in automotive marketing is. Second is service. Dealers make a ton of money on servicing their customers' cars. That's where they make most of their money, as a matter of fact. And then thirdly, there's this aftermarket, but the one that we're chasing hardest is auto insurance. So the one thing that was a pleasant surprise to me as I started to learn about this whole market and what the possibilities for mobile were. Insurance really is very dynamic, even within a week after the purchase of a car has been consummated. People, sort of carry on with their existing auto insurance, but what was a huge surprise to me is there's a lot of policy changing that goes on well after the sale. So there's a time there that we can help our clients capitalize on all this stuff that's going on in mobile, but the challenge remains. Who are we talking to? We're talking to a device, or might we actually be able to talk to a person? So just a little bit more reinforcement about what goes on here, and I won't read all of these things chapter and verse to you, but the truth of automotive shopping, and this is really a proxy for a lot of retail use models and a lot of just buying and selling use models. Very, very, very resonant to all of this stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I only go to a dealer a lot now when I'm ready to go, when I'm ready to buy. I've done my research, I know what I'm doing, and I really don't want to engage with a dealer until I am ready to do that. And so, a lot of the factoids here really reinforce that. Customers don't want to engage. The change in a salesperson as advisor, not seller, is very much reflective of the fact that people have done all their research. Some customers are buying on the spot. There's all of this stuff going on about mobile research and the role of the salesperson and what they're doing. And all of these facts sort of accumulate to us to say, you know what, there is a very direct correlation between mobile research, mobile visitation of a dealer lot, and purchase. How can we capitalize on that? And now we'll kind of show you what we're up to. So we're in the very early stages of launching a product, and again, not a commercial so much for our product, but just here's what we're doing as we've learned about what mobile shoppers and what mobilely attuned marketers want. We've created a product called RElevate Signals, and the name is quite deliberate. RElevate Signals is really all about trying to capitalize on that purchase signal that the mobile-enabled and digitally-enabled shopper is giving off in the moment. However, we still have this pervasive problem of linking device to household. So here's what we've spent a lot of time and a lot of networking and a lot of math and a lot of crunching of data doing. We've been able to associate about 140 million devices to households. The number grows every day. So this is very, very material, because now we're able to say, okay, it's not just person X on their device that might be person X, but I'm not really sure. It's actually person X because I've householded that device. I know where that device sits most of the day or at night. There's a tell there. And I've been able to connect that state, that location data, to household data, which gives me all of that really well-known data, name, address, demographic characteristics, all this stuff where you can say, aha, this person's a person I really want to talk to, and if they've given me permission to market to them because they've enabled location services, they've hit yes on their smartphone user agreement, they've said agree on the app agreement that they do a lot of research in, we're good because this mobile-enabled consumer has raised their hand, given explicit permission, and now we can deliver that customer experience that they have sought all along, that they get angry with, honestly, if we don't deliver. So in our case, what we've done is connected device to household to person. That's a huge step. Now, because we're in the automotive market, we've connected that device and person linkage to what car they own. So our auto product is all about the specific VIN and the specific garage in which that VIN sits. And for those of you who don't know what a VIN is, it's a vehicle identification number. It's sort of the universal singular identifier of what a car is and what's in it. It's a number that you'll see up in the up near your windshield or in a barcode on the inside of your driver's side door. It's basically your car's DNA, and this is what our automotive product is built on. We've basically got a handle on every VIN in the United States. We know everything about it. We know the longitudinal ownership history of it, which is a huge asset, and we know what it sits in the garage next to because we've quote-unquote householded all of this stuff. So you think about device, person, household, and VIN and garage, and the prospect of being able to market based on location. Now you got something. So what have we done? We've capitalized on this very basic phenomenon, and Larissa, if you could advance one slide, please. We've capitalized on this very basic phenomenon of people showing up on the dealer lot when they're ready to buy. They've told us that this is what they're doing. Their behavior suggests that this is exactly what they're doing, and all of you know that that's what you do. Maybe there are some exceptions out there, but in the aggregate, this is what consumers do. They're doing their research online. They're doing their research on their mobile device. They are all ready to go. They know the price of the car that they're willing to take. They know the options. They know everything. So they are looking to connect with a salesperson who's a trusted advisor who's going to help them through that process. But it happens fast. It happens within 24 hours before purchase or less, as you saw some of those stats on the last page. So a long time goes into all of this research. 2+ months go into the research process of buying a car. But man, when that purchase window opens, you've got to be ready to jump. And that is the product that RElevate Signals has been created to deliver. So what have we got? Location-based data, and if you could advance one more, Larissa, please. Thank you. We've also enabled location-based marketing because not only have we householded all of these mobile devices, we've householded every dealer lot, or geolocated, if you will, every dealer lot in the U.S. So we'll go to a dealer and say, Joe's Chrysler, wouldn't you like to talk to everybody who is shopping at Fred's Ford down the street within your trading area in that 24 hours where you think they're going to buy a car? Wouldn't you like to get an offer in their hands and get them to your lot instead of that other guy's? And what dealer wouldn't? What marketer wouldn't want something like that? And the answer is, sure I would. You can do that? And the answer is yes. And so with all of this data and complexity that I just blathered on about, we deliver a signal, a buying signal of somebody who has been on that lot, whatever lot our client specifies, in that time box that they specify, and we give them this buying signal alert. We give them who is it, some demographic characteristics on them, how to get a hold of them, and what they drive. And man, if a car dealer has that, they are cooking with gas, if you will. Sorry for the pun, but that is a really meaningful, time-bound, definitive purchase signal that in automotive people are really eager to get a hold of, and we're just delighted with the market reaction that we've gotten so far. But think about this. All of this data has to have been accumulated. We've had to have leaned on our technologies both to link together all of these data resources and to deliver the data, most importantly, in real time. We don't have 3 days to merge a bunch of files together and to get it out. We need to do this in real time, and that's what this buying signal product is really all about. So we've been really delighted and thrilled with what's gone on in our beta phase so far. So just a few factoids. I think the most meaningful one is at the top. So we've collected over a period of a few months all of these buying signals, and they number in about the 250,000 range, even more. But really, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of scale in this, and of that 250,000 that you see at the bottom, we've got transactions of some kind associated with 30% of that audience. That to us, with imperfect data in a beta phase, is massive, and so it just ratifies for us, again, not a commercial for us, but it just ratifies to us that this combination of foundational and fast data and the linkage of data and technology, and just this recognition of the fact that we as marketers have to make these associations, and we have to deliver these cross-channel experiences, because we're going to lose opportunity. We're losing ground every day. We're not gaining ground in this kind of digital and mobile-enabled economy. It's just got to happen. So just some other kind of interesting factoids. The other one that is really interesting to me is the second one down. So among BMW dealers that we just did some trial analysis on, there are multiple shoppers going on within BMW dealerships. I've decided I want a BMW. I'm going to go look for a better deal. Makes sense, right? Well, there's a lot of that going on, and a large component of the 29,000 that we monitor. The third item down, this 94,000 service leads. So I talked to you about these multiple use cases. So if you think about it, if I'm tracking you with location-based services and you're on a dealer lot between 7 and 9 a.m., you're not there to buy a car. You're there for servicing purposes, and that presents an enormous profit-generating conquest opportunity for a lot of car dealers out there, and this is where their profit is. And so early learning on this, a lot more to go, a lot more to kind of experiment with our clients, but we are off and running with this product. And again, sorry for the commercial, but it's just evidence of what we've learned, and the only way that we've been able to do this is because we had the foundation of understanding the quote-unquote old-fashioned stuff, the foundational data, name, address, email, phone, all of that stuff that allows us to link new fast data to foundational data. And the two of these together add up to real revenue and a lot of ROI to marketers of all kinds. So that's kind of the end of the speech, if you will. I really appreciate your listening. Happy to take on any questions or challenges or any of that. And I certainly do, again, appreciate the at-bat that Conversa has provided. They're an important partner to us, and we kind of share this quest to make marketing more accountable and to really capitalize on the speed at which marketing has to happen today. So thanks again, guys. All
right. Thank you, Anders. I appreciate it. That was great. So I don't have any questions coming right now. So if you guys, if you have questions and you're attending, please write those in the question box, and we can answer those. Questions about the presentations or other questions about other topics that you think we might be able to address, feel free to write those in, and we'll get those answered. So, all right, looks like I've got a couple coming in here now. First one is, do you have this data for other business types, such as banks or lenders?
We have worked with lenders in the automotive space. We are concentrating in automotive because you can appreciate this was this was hard to do for one vertical, but we envision this rolling out across all kinds of financial services use modes. That the next one for us is insurance, as we said, just because it's so related to the purchase of a car. But banks are not far behind. We've got a lot of client relationships there. So not today, but we'd encourage anybody to reach out and challenge us. And hey, being in business, client demands and requests are what gets us motivated to do the next thing. So happy to have a direct discussion.
Sure. All right, next question. Will there be a recording for those that logged on late? Yes. We do record these webinars, and then we'll post those. There'll be an email that goes out. So after the presentation today, either later this afternoon or tomorrow, you'll get an email with a link to the recording. Or if you want to ignore the email, you can go to conversa.com, click on the resources tab, and then there's a webinar recordings link that will be there. So if you got late, you'll get multiple chances to get the recording. Next question is, does this product work for independent auto repair shops?
Yes, and it's a qualified yes. We have most independent dealer lots geolocated. And those that have a service operation, I'll say 90% sure that we're good there. Independent repair shops that are standalones, likely not. Again, happy to field the question directly. My sense is no for the moment, but again, necessity is the mother of invention. So happy to take on the question directly.
Great. Next question. What is your link between traditional to fast data? Is it the cell phone number?
Yeah. The cell phone number is one of the things that we use. The device ID tends to be a little bit more material to us because you link device ID, the number's in there obviously, but you can link device IDs to networks and things like that. So it's a combination of things that add up to it. Phone number as linked to device is obviously really important.
Okay. Next question. Once we purchase the data from Data Mentors, how do we reach out to consumers? What company or source does that?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a long answer here. First of all, we're happy to refer. We do a limited amount of email marketing ourselves, but are happy to refer you to other folks who can help. Again, please reach out. The other thing, and I didn't address this, I'm sorry, that it's kind of important to realize when you're marketing with mobile data like this is sensitivity to data privacy concerns, or the perception of data privacy concerns, I should say. So, the data that we collect is all permissioned, so there's no issue there. Yet, we really counsel our clients to be very judicious about how they follow up. And following up immediately and in the moment is really important, obviously. But, just envision getting a phone call, if you will, saying, hey, Joe, I saw you were on Fred's Chevy lot 2 hours ago. Why don't you come on over? Probably not that good an idea, because I think we call it internally the creep factor, which I think to certain audiences, younger consumers, the ever elusive millennial audience. I don't think millennials care. There's one of them sitting across from me, and she's like laughing at me that I actually brought this up. But I think that it's important that as we're out there doing new things, we are respectful of how consumers in the aggregate are used to be marketed to. So we don't share a lot of that location-based data simply because we want to be careful and cautious and respectful. I think consumers want the experience, but there's a limit. So as you contemplate your follow-up on stuff like this, that's just something to be aware of, and we're happy to kind of walk through some of the learnings that we've got there at some point.
Great. All right, next question. How is the product sold? The monthly fee or per transaction?
Another great question. It is sold on a subscription basis, if you will, so it's more in the monthly fee mode. This product honestly exists in the sort of in the middle ground between marketing data and leads. You can imagine if seeing this signal, it's not a lead in the classic sense of the word that somebody's raised their hand and said, yep, I want that. So we have to be respectful of that, but it's not a passive set of marketing data either. So how we sell it is it's a monthly commitment for a certain amount these signals based on the value of that signal to your vertical. In automotive, obviously, there's a certain economic equation associated with the purchase of a car, so that's how we value it, based on what's going on in the automotive vertical and what we compete with. And what we ask for is just a little bit of a commitment because, it'd be honestly with new things like this really easy to take in 5 of them and just say, oh, forget it, those 5 didn't work. It's a little bit of a process here, so we ask for a little bit of a commitment to go along with that monthly fee.
All right. Last question that I've got here, can call tracking numbers be placed into each ad, different ads with different call tracking numbers?
I'm going to defer to you on that one. I am not a mobile ad expert. I'm sure that is the case, but
yeah, for sure. So call tracking numbers can be placed on all mobile ads and can be dynamically changed based on where they're coming from. So, for example, if you're wanting to track, mobile visitors that go from Google search to your landing page, you can have a specific number that's dynamically changed on the landing page that matches your number that you've assigned to, Google Organic or Google Paid or whatever source that you're looking to track. So yes, with a mobile, you'll want a number that can be click to call, right? Because that's how most people will take action on the landing page, is just to click on the phone number and then they'll call. So yeah, you can place that on each ad, and then you can, assign as many different sources, different numbers on a single landing page by using like a dynamic number insertion. So I hope that answers your question. I don't have any other questions, so I will wrap up the session today. Again, want to thank Data Mentors and Anders for the presentation. As again, just an FYI, you'll be receiving the email follow-up with the recording if you join late, and then also you'll get a follow-up if you have an interest in learning more about Data Mentors or Conversa. So you can respond to any of those if you have additional questions. So thanks again, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.